Hello, Libra. Today we are going to find out what in your past is keeping you stuck. And I'm just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, Spirit, so what in Libra's past is keeping them stuck? What in Libra's past is keeping them stuck? Maybe that one is going to come back out. Knight of Cups. So far, an energy of moving towards some emotional fulfillment or towards a romantic relationship. Tell us more, Spirit. Knight of Cups. King of Swords. Okay. So far we have Knight of Cups and King of Swords moving towards some kind of emotional fulfillment. There's some kind of knowledge aspect here. Either some kind of truth or some kind of intelligence factor, authenticity. We're going to need a little bit more. Let's go ahead and take another one right off the top. Judgment. Okay. So some kind of rebirth here. There's going to be some kind of rebirth, or there needs to be some kind of life review or character review. Let's see here. Maybe this is the King of Swords is maybe finding the truth out. Finding the truth about a certain situation in your life. With the Judgment card, you have you look at, do your actions align with your beliefs? Are you being authentic? Are you doing right by others? Let's see here. Let's find out a little bit more about the Knight of Cups itself. What is this forward movement towards? What is the emotional fulfillment? Or what is this about, Spirit? Ace of Cups. So this great opportunity to fill your cup, right? Knight of Cups clarified by the Ace of Cups. So this is the opportunity for forward moving towards what you desire, that emotional fulfillment, perhaps a person. Let's get one more on that, Spirit. Justice. That straight Libra energy there, right? So, a balancing of scales here. I got the scales charm out here for Libra energy. So what is this balancing of the scales about? For it to be paired with the cups, I'm not seeing any kind of legal issue. To me, this is either a win-win situation, getting what you want, both parties getting what they want, being fair. Let's see here. Tell me more, Spirit, tell us more about the King of Swords, this truth, this authenticity. Or is this somebody that's very intelligent and wise? Through the lens of the past, something from the past keeping you stuck. Nine of Swords. So perhaps, excuse me, perhaps this truth or this knowledge is causing or was causing some stress and anxiety. Take another one here. Three of Pentacles. So some kind of collaboration, group effort, meaningful work. Let's see here. Are you the King of Swords, the leader of truth, the leader of your intelligence, knowledge, created some kind of anxiety or some kind of mental stress or even a nightmare kind of situation working with others? Okay. The star kind of jumped out there. The star represents our wishes, our hopes. The guiding light. Maybe you're being guided guided towards this maybe you were guided to take a long look at yourself. Tell us a little bit more about Judgment and the Star Spirit. These are major arcana. We have 3 major arcana so far. We have Justice, Judgment, and the Star. So some kind of balance. And perhaps this was you trying to restore balance. Maybe you thought that you had the answers, but it created a problem with others. Ace of Wands. So we have this fire energy, this creation, this creative, this opportunity to create. The fire inside you, this is your opportunity to express your power in some fashion. Judgment, the Star, and the Ace of Wands. Excuse me. Maybe you were hopeful after this review that you would be able to get that fire back. Maybe this rebirth, sort of reinventing yourself, you learned lessons and you're looking at things through fresh eyes, or you had hoped to. I'm going to get a symbol card for each little section here. So let's do a little recap. Through the lens of the past, right? This is what from your past is keeping you stuck. We have the Justice card, the Judgment card, and the Star. 3 major arcana popping out. And I think those are what we need to take a look at the most here and let everything else kind of fall in line behind. So you have this balancing, this justice. Maybe you're looking for justice in this situation. You feel like you didn't get what you wanted out of a certain situation, or something played out unfairly. And it caused you had to take a good hard look at yourself. Right? With the Judgment. And it has given you hope. You felt guided to review your life or your decisions, or could you have done it better, or could you have treated those around you better? I'm seeing this with the King of Swords sometimes comes out as can be kind of arrogant, right? Somebody was arrogant. Maybe it wasn't you. But this energy caused this stress and anxiety. With this group effort. So either you or someone else, this King of Swords, maybe you didn't put your best foot forward, and you weren't being true to yourself or authentic, or somebody else wasn't. Okay, so let's take a look at these symbol cards here. Spirit, let's get a symbol card to go with Justice. This Justice. Playing fairly. Giving back. Balancing the scales. Full moon. Oh, I missed a card here. Left one behind. What is that one? Divine Masculine. We'll see where that plays out. But full moon. That's either some truth coming to light. Excuse me. Or a new beginning. Releasing the old. So something, some kind of manifestation. You felt like you were moving towards something that you deserved and that you were working towards manifesting. Maybe you were working towards let's see what else we come out with here. Lucky. So maybe you thought that you were entitled to something. Whatever this emotional, whatever you were working toward, you thought you were lucky, that you thought it was going to work out in your favor. You thought you were finally balancing the scales. Let's get a symbol card for the King of Swords, Nine of Swords, Three of Pentacles. Spiritual cleansing. So this anxiety, this nightmare situation, just requires some spiritual cleansing. Maybe the arrogance and the inauthenticity. Maybe you needed to do some work to cleanse those thought processes. The spiritual cleansing falls in line with the Judgment card as well, I believe. Because when you review your character and how you're treating others, you kind of get a sense of cleansing your spirit, right? Time. Okay, so I pulled the Time card to go with Judgment, the Star, and the Ace of Wands. So to me, I feel like you did this review, this character review. You've taken stock of your life, and you decided you think you've figured it out already, right? With the star card, you've been divinely guided to do this review to begin with, and it's given you hope that you can take your power back, or that you'll have the opportunity to create again. You just haven't gotten there yet because it requires more time. It's a waiting game for things to fall into place. All right, I'm going to pull some more oracle cards here. And then we'll move on to how can you heal and move on. Spirit, let's get an oracle card. Snake, shed old skin. So that's the kind of energy we're looking for, right? If something in your past is keeping you stuck and you need to move on, the idea is for you to shed it so that you can move on. But to me, I feel like this hits a little different when you look at it with this anxiety and the spiritual cleansing, and because you know that you didn't do something right, you didn't treat somebody right, or maybe you might have hurt somebody's feelings. The anxiety could be somebody else's. You created that within this group. Or it could be that because you recognize this, you recognize that you did this, that this could be you feeling that by yourself. And the snake comes out as saying to shed that, because you already recognize that you did your review, you know. You're just not seeing results yet because you didn't give it enough time, and because you're still holding on to this hurt that you caused, or this problem that you caused in this group effort here. Okay, so let's answer the question of how can you heal and move on, or move forward, right? You want to shed this old skin. How do you do that? Spirit, let's find out for Libra how they can heal and release this. What is required of them to release this? Is it the snake shedding its old skin? Letting the old self go because you know that it's your old self. It's not you now. Queen of Pentacles. So I always look at this card as, yes, she can do it all, right? But she does so because she's a great nurturer. Everything that she does, she's nurturing, and that's why she's so successful. So as far as healing and moving on, it could be a matter of what you're nurturing. Take stock of what you're nurturing, because what you nurture grows, right? She's going to grow her money because she's putting time into it. She's putting energy into it. She's putting her full self into it. She's going to grow a garden. She's going to raise children. She's going to grow her career, all because she's going to put her time and energy into it. Obviously, this isn't just for women. That's just the energy. But that's the energy of nurturing. You don't only nurture, it's not just children that need nurturing, right? Anything you want to grow, you have to put time, energy, you have to nurture it. So, this time, you need to give it time. You need to nurture. Let's see what else we can get here. Let's take one more off the top. See what was right beside the Queen. We have Temperance. So that's more of a balancing energy, right? But you're balancing your emotions. You're balancing and tempering heightened emotions. Oh. Another major arcana card. I feel like that's going to be the main story for your healing there. 10 of Wands. So you're carrying this burden. Now this, excuse me. This could be telling you to put in the work, right? It requires hard work. But I'm not really getting that. I'm getting this more of a release. This burden you feel for however things played out with this group or this collaboration. You don't need to carry that anymore. That's the only way forward, is tempering your emotions, balancing the flow, letting your emotions flow from one cup to another, just like in the picture, right? It's okay to feel what you feel, but don't stay there and don't let it burden you. You gotta let that go. Let's get some symbol cards and some oracle cards here. Actually, I'm gonna get a drink first, sorry. Spirit, let's get a symbol card for the Queen of Pentacles. Trust. So this could be like trust in whatever higher power, that whatever you nurture is going to grow, that all your effort will not be wasted. Trust that this is the way forward. Another way to look at this is, if this Queen of Pentacles energy is not your own and it's somebody else's, this could be about putting your trust into that person. I really feel like this Queen of Pentacles is your own energy, though. This is about whatever you put time and energy into is going to grow. New moon to go with Temperance. So this is allowing your emotions to flow and creating this tempered approach to healing, not forcing. This is your new beginning. This is how you move forward. Like this. Get a symbol card to go with the Ten of Wands. Stormy. So all this is doing for you is just creating this chaotic energy, like with the Nine of Swords. It's emotional turmoil. It's too much. And you need to let it go. Remember, we're talking about this, the burden of knowing what you did, right? But you've made amends. You've taken stock of your life and you've made changes. So much so that it's given you hope. But you haven't given it enough time. And there's where that spiritual cleansing comes in. There was something toxic there, right? There was a toxic energy. It could be somebody else, but I feel like because we're seeing the Judgment card, I feel like it may be you, Libra. Maybe there was some arrogance or some inauthentic energy there, some toxic energy that required spiritual cleansing. Something wasn't right there within this group. Or if this was somebody else, if somebody else is the King of Swords, this the Judgment could come out as taking stock of, why are you even dealing with this person anymore? Why did you put up with that? That could be true for some of you. But this burden, that's still weighing heavy on you. That's why it's got to go. It's this stormy energy. Let's get some angels and ancestors oracle. Spirit, let's get one card. To wrap up this healing and release. Direction, Guardian. Choose your path. Will you continue on this path of this, keeping this weight on your shoulders and this stormy energy? Will you continue to, are you kind of blowing up on others And that's why you need to temper your emotions, let them flow. Or will you choose the path of healing? Because at this point, it's a choice to stay where you're at or to release this, because you already know. You already know. Perhaps now is the time. Now is the time to choose to let this burden go. This nightmare energy, this stormy energy. Choose to let it go. Choose to trust and nurture. Maybe this is choosing yourself. Choosing to do the right thing. Okay, Libra, well, I think I'm going to wrap it up there. I hope it was helpful. I hope it resonated. And I hope to see you again soon. Bye.